More their third appearance in the Intermediate World Series overall. And for Canada, they'll face Jackson Inami Berkovitz. His first pitch in for a strike on Balog. Dream job, pilot or a businessman? Grounded over to first base. Fielded by Parhar. 2 pitches and 1 out for Canada.
Jackson Inami Berkovitz. Now, the talent, he can juggle.
It's pretty impressive.
Well, you would like to see in the middle of the game just a little pause and bring out like 5 baseballs. And right?
That'd be fun. I think that's a good idea. He actually closed out their regional final over Diamond. Got into it, or came in with a jam on the bases, closed it out, got the final batters out to win the region and take them to Livermore.
Favorite movie, Cars. I have not seen that. Have you?
That might be our first find, Wes.
No.
Cars is a classic.
Okay. Well, I may have seen it. I just don't remember it. How's that? When I saw it. I don't know.
That's a memorable
I have
movie.
no idea. But back to the juggling. Can juggle? Does he juggle cans? See, that's a big question.
Yeah,
see?
interesting to think about there. Here's David Stepanik. Late on that pitch from Inami Berkovitz. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Czechia shortstop. High into the backstop on the fastball.
Jackson put his hands up over his head like, oh my. Hit the screen. It happens.
And you think, Wes, maybe a little bit of nerves here. You're finally in Livermore. For Canada, some of them drove 16 hours. First strikeout of the tournament.
It's a good fastball up in the zone. But yeah, to your point, we'll get a look at this fastball up and out of the zone. This pitch up in the zone doesn't matter if it's major leagues or right here in Livermore. It's the toughest pitch for a hitter to lay off because it's the closest pitch to your eyes.
Jonas Barda steps in. Nobody on. 2 outs. Surging for our game's first run.
Well, you think about the Czechias. Both of these clubs, they're friends back home. And they're telling them, we won. So, and their friends are saying, well, what does that mean? Well, we get to go to United States and California.
And for Czechia, it was a trip of nearly 6,000 miles to get here. Team says they're well prepared. Their manager, Serhii Holovko, was the manager for this team in Williamsport last year and the year before that. So he's got plenty of experience.
Shorter trip this year.
Is that right?
I don't know.
The way they, whatever route they take?
Well, I have no idea.
Jammed him up inside.
All you have to do is just roll with it. We'll take a look at the miles. 5,059 and 13 miles.
Whew. Outside, and Barda will work a 2-out walk. First base runner of this ball game for Czechia. It's Matej Bushina, the cleanup hitter for Czechia. It's a high-powered
head first. It's another thing that you can do. Higher you go up in Little League, rules change.
Look at this lead that Barda has off of second base. He's almost halfway to third.
Well, this is a part of some team strategy. Well, they will have a runner out at second base.
Pitch to the backstop, and that will allow Barda to get to third base. So Czechia 70 feet away from scoring this game's first run in the opening frame. Berkovich just yanked that pitch. And now it's a 3-0 count. Hits that one for a strike on Bushina.
Well, I could argue Berkovich is more comfortable right now than having to deal with, take a look at the runner at second base. He can just focus on the hitter right now.
2 outs in the inning. And he'll draw back-to-back walks. Barta and now Bushina. Runners on the corners for Czechia. Got a ground out and a strikeout the first 2 batters of this inning. Now back-to-back walks. And it's Jan Yersabek with 2 on and 2 away.
Now you see Whiteside, the catcher, for Canada, go out in front of the plate, giving his infield the signs on what they're going to do if the runner at first takes off. They're going to throw down or just eat it and not throw.
Outside on Yersabek, ball 1. This is a Canadian team that, talking with their coaching staff, takes a lot of pride in their defense, and actually in their regional tournament they turned a triple play. Bases loaded, nobody out. That one popped up and fouled by Yersabek, a ball and a strike. And they turned it against Hastings. They won that game 9-2. That was their 7th game of the regional. A 6-4-3-2 triple play. Big spot here, 1-1. Off goes the runner at first, throw down to third. Everybody's safe. Bushina's in there. 2 runners in scoring position for Czechia.
That's a good choice and a good decision by the coaching staff of Canada and their catcher Whiteside to not throw down. Bushina can fly. Obviously he can run down at third base very easy, even if they cut a throw off from second base. Seen it most likely is going to be safe at home.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Yersabek. Up and in. So that pitch count up over 20 for Jackson Anami Berkovich.
What's the pitch count per game, Sam?
Well, the max. That pitch has popped up and fouled. The max is going to be 66 or more. That reserves 4 calendar days. 95 pitches is the most you can throw. You can finish the batter if you're still under 95. Outside. So 3 straight walks to load the bases. Czechia has them loaded, and we're going to reference this as the tournament goes on because it's a really important part of what these teams do strategy-wise. But you see that the max per game 95. If it's 66 or more, it's 4 days of rest, and the list goes on.
Yeah, we've seen this. To your point, it's strategically have to be used the later you go into the tournament. Got to roll the dice sometimes. If you're in the semis, on do we bring somebody in that the assumption that we're going to win and move on, sometimes it backfires.
Patrick Peck up with the bases loaded. First 2 pitches out of the zone. Yersabek is on first, Bushina is on second, Barta is on third, all by way of the walk. And Anami Berkovich in some trouble for Canada. Pitch on Peck. That one hits the strike zone. Way back to the backstop. Everybody stays put. It bounces back to Whiteside. But a 3-1 count on Peck. As Anami Berkovich still searching for that strike zone. He got the first 2 batters out. And 3 straight free passes to load him up. Just needs 1 more out to get out of the inning. Peck lays off, full count.
It's the beauty of the game of baseball. Berkovich Berkovich has struggled this entire inning. He's got an opportunity to get out of this big mess, and with one pitch.
Payoff is low and away, and Czechia will score the game's first run. RBI walk for Patrick Peck. It'll bring in Barta. It is 4 straight walks with 2 outs in the top of the first, and we'll have our first mound visit for Team Canada.
Well, it's a good time. Berkovich has got his pitch out up to 30 in the first inning.
William Whiteside going out for a quick chat with Jackson Anami Berkovich. Again, a player that closed out their regional to win and make it to the Little League Intermediate World Series. A team from Vancouver Island, the first team from that area for Canada to make it here. First pitch out of the zone.
Beautiful up in Vancouver. Fortunate to play there.
Theodore Scrawball at the plate, still bases loaded. High and tight fastball. A trip of 747 miles for Hampton Little League out of Victoria.
Well, roughly, Sam, because you know I'm good at math, that's 8. It's 8 times. Czechia took 8 times the miles to come here.
That's some quick computing there.
Just a little critical thinking, Samuel.
3 balls and a strike on Theodore Scraball. Swing and a miss, and that'll put him down to end the inning. Czechia gets 1. RBI lead after 4 straight walks in their half of the first. Martin Tratera for Czechia filling up the strike zone, West. Couple of strikeouts in his first inning.
Yeah, this is what he did in the first inning, just featuring a pretty powerful fastball. Got Canada to go after a lot of fastballs up in the zone.
And he's going to face the middle of this Canada order. And Desmond Howard will lead it off for Canada. Their center fielder also provides a lot of pop. 5 home runs in their regional tournament. And now takes the stage here in Livermore. The first pitch by Tratera. He ducks under for ball 1. 35 pitches in that first inning for Jackson Anami Berkovich. 4 straight walks before he got that final out. Outside on Howard, 2 balls, no strikes. Howard looking to spark the response for Canada. Swings away and comes up empty. Fastball looks good for Tratera early in his outing. Little flare right side and caught. Bushina in right field makes the play. So 1 away, and Tratera has retired the first 4 batters he's faced. Gives way to the pitcher, Jackson Anami Berkovich, for his first at-bat today.
This is always the best matchup. Pitchers facing pitchers. I'm still can juggle. Which one is it, Sam? Juggles cans or is it balls?
You know, I think that he just does the typical ball, right? That's the basic juggling form.
We could juggle eggs. You could juggle anything.
Right. Juggling's hard, but it's a, you know what? It's a sign of really good coordination. He's late on that pitch by Tratera. 2 balls and 1 strike.
When you can hear it, that means it's pretty hard.
No doubt. And he's filling up the strike zone, too. We talked about it coming into this inning. A couple of strikeouts in the first. 9 pitches in that opening frame. 8 were in the zone. And he puts down Jackson Inami Berkovitz on strikes for his 3rd strikeout today. Froze him in the box.
Well,
How about
we're going to
this?
look at the grip and great camera work from our truck. That's a changeup. You can see the bottom just drop out of it.
The first one on Matt Mickelson is fouled off on what looked like was a check swing. But talking before this game with the Czechia coaching staff, they mentioned that fastball was up to 73, but has a really good feel for that changeup. And so far, Wes, he's been able to use both at a really effective rate facing this Canada order for the first time.
Oh, he's been very efficient. Got 5 outs in just 19 pitches.
It's a 2-strike count on Mickelson. Canada searching for their first base runner. Tratera puts down the side in order. Back-to-back backwards Ks, and Martin Tratera has 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, and he's retired all 6 bats.